Hi folks, Chris Souter here with MLC CAD Systems. In today's presentation, I would like to cover file naming and part numbering with SOLIDWORKS PDM. Now, during my time as an implementation specialist with MLC CAD Systems, one of the big topics of conversation that often comes up during an install and implementation is how should we name our files now that we're using SOLIDWORKS PDM? Now, I can tell you that there is no definitive answer to this question. I typically perform 10 to 20 implementations per year, and I can tell you there's definitely no one-size-fits-all when it comes to file naming and part numbering. It's always down to you specifically and what method and schema makes the most sense for your organization. So with that said, I'd like to use this opportunity to show you some of the more common options within SOLIDWORKS PDM. And these are some of the options that I've used for different customers during my time implementing this software. So if you're thinking about getting ready to implement PDM, or if you already have PDM and you're just looking for a new way to name your legacy data, hopefully I can provide you with some food for thought today. Before we get into the actual PDM software, I would like to just point out some things that may influence your decision. The main thing you have to decide is what are your goals and what do you need? Well, here's one thing you will need for sure. Ease of creation. You never want to implement a process that's going to make things more difficult or more time consuming. So generating new files needs to be an easy and quick process in whatever method you choose for part numbering or file naming. You also have to think of the longevity as well. What you choose right now is likely going to last a long time. And then a great decision that a lot of people struggle with is readability. Do you actually have the need to identify your parts based on the part number? And then finally, uniqueness. We never want to have two files with the same file name or the same part number. So we definitely need to have something that makes the files unique in themselves. So let's take a look at our options using SOLIDWORKS PDM. We'll go ahead and we'll jump into my vault. And like most default vaults, this is located on my C drive. What I've done is I've just created a folder for this presentation today. So the first method I'm going to use to generate a new file is by simply using a template within PDM. I'm just going to simply right click and I'm going to generate a new SOLIDWORKS part. And as you can see, it's just simply going to use a template to generate that new part. Now this example here is using a serial number to name the file, and it's actually using the built-in serial number generator within SOLIDWORKS PDM. So it creates a serial number, it puts it on my data card, and I'm actually using the method to write that to the file name as well. So as you can see, it generates a new file, it gives it a unique serial number, and it adds that to the file name. I'll do the process again, and I'll just simply add another one. And as you can see, it gives it another unique identifier. So that's using a serial number and a template within SOLIDWORKS PDM. So this is what we would consider a non-intelligent serial number part naming convention. The nice thing about this, the pros, is it's very simple to set up and it's very simple to use in SOLIDWORKS PDM. And the good thing is all part numbers are unique. PDM's taking care of this for us, so we're not having to go and grab serial numbers from a spreadsheet or another database or anything like that. Now, some of the downsides of this is that the part number and the name itself provides really no information about the file contents. And with that said, there is the potential for errors to go unnoticed. Imagine using this file in a bill of materials. You just have a file name or a part number, and it doesn't really tell you what the file is in itself. So you could be looking at a file that's an electrical file. Based on the serial number, you can't tell whether it's electrical or mechanical. So that's some of the downsides of that, as well as some of the upsides of using a serial number generator for your SOLIDWORKS files. So next, let's take a look at another method. And for this method here, let's look at how we could take advantage of SOLIDWORKS PDM's great configuration capabilities some of the real power behind SOLIDWORKS PDM for generating intelligent part numbers. So we'll go back to the vault, back to the same folder location. Now again, I'm using a template here. So within the right mouse menu, I just simply select New. And this time I'm going to select a new SOLIDWORKS intelligent part. Now this template here presents me with an input card. In the input card, I choose what the file type is going to be based on the category and subcategory. So this is going to be a power transmission, and I'm creating a new bearing here. With those first selections, it presents me with additional selections, and now I can pick the bearing type. So based on these inputs, I know exactly what the file is going to be. It's a 1-inch shaft thrust bearing. Now when I click OK, SOLIDWORKS generates a file using that template. And the nice thing about this is it names the file based on the intelligent part number. So now we have a file in PDM, and the name of the file tells me exactly what the file is. I'm using a series of drop-downs and lists within SOLIDWORKS PDM. Those lists are using alias sets, so I pick bearing, and it gives me a result of BRG. I pick power transmission, it gives me a result of PT. But now I can identify what the file is based on its file name and its intelligent part number. So that's great. But here's the thing, as a designer, this is not really where we generate all of our files. We typically do it in the CAD interface. So let's go ahead and walk through that process, how we would typically generate a new file using SOLIDWORKS and the intelligent part number generator that we've built within our PDM system. So just like before, we'd click on File New. By pointing our SOLIDWORKS to the PDM vault, we can select the template that is within our PDM system. And I'm just going to pick that intelligent part template again. Now what SOLIDWORKS PDM does is it asks us to save the file into a folder location within the vault. Now just as a side note, you can click cancel here and just open the file in RAM. But I'm going to go ahead and just select that. So we will say OK, and we'll put it in the same folder location. Because we're using the same template, we get the same input card asking us for the same criteria. So let's go ahead and just do something a little bit different. So this time we'll use the option to create a bushing. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to build a brand new oil embedded sleeve bearing. And we'll go ahead and do that for an 1/8-inch shaft. And we'll click OK. Okay, so just again, like we saw before, based on the inputs that we selected, it generates our intelligent part number. And then I've got this one set up to copy the intelligent part number into the file name as well. So when we create that file, it's ready to go, and we've got all the information that we need in the file name and the intelligent part number. So we'd simply do our design work, and then when we're done, we'll go ahead and check it into PDM, and that becomes part of our vault. Okay, so we've seen two methods. We've seen serial number generation, and we have seen intelligent part number generation. Now these methods both had pros and cons, but there is another thing that we have to think about here. Not everything that we make would be something that we make from scratch. We may have some existing legacy data that we're bringing into SOLIDWORKS PDM, or we may have files that we're downloading from the web or from suppliers. We may even have contractors who are sending us their files. Now what we need is a method that allows us to incorporate their files into our vault and use our naming convention. So what I've done here is I've done some additional configuration work in PDM in order to make this possible. So as you can see, what we're looking at on the screen right now is basically a gear motor, and you'll see from the file name, I've just basically named it vendor part downloaded from the web. And you can see in the data card, there is no information regarding the part number. So with this method here, what I've done is I've given us the option to simply pick the category, subcategory, and then the part actual intelligence itself within the data card, and then I'm actually writing this to the intelligent part number. So like we did before with the input card, we simply select from drop-downs. This is going back to our PDM vault, and it's picking up those lists and giving us those options to select from. So this time we'll pick a motor. The motor type I'm going to pick is electric gear motor, and we'll just go ahead and pick the size, and I believe this is a 1/4 horsepower motor. So we'll fill those in, and as you can see, I've got this writing to the intelligent part number on the data card. Now, just to give you an example, if I change anything in here, you will see that that part number updates with those selections. So what this does, it gives me the ability to bring in vendor files, supplier files, and simply pick the category, the subcategory, and the part type, and the specifics for size and so on. And that fills in my intelligent part number for me. I'll go ahead and save that, which saves the information to the data card and to the database. All right, so that's good. I get the intelligent part number, but I'm actually missing the file name. So to overcome this, what I've done is I've created a dispatch routine that basically copies the intelligent part number from this cell and writes it to the file name. So the next step in this process would be a simple right click. And in the right mouse menu, I have my dispatch tool, which is to rename the SOLIDWORKS file with the intelligent part number. All right, and that will just tell me when it's complete. And as you can see, it's simply taken that intelligent part number, our company standard, and it's named the file with our company standard. So this is the method I would use for grabbing the intelligent part numbers from vendor files or legacy data, and just bringing everything into the same naming convention that we have in our PDM vault. So let's review what we've seen with intelligent part numbers. So this is where we're really using the power of SOLIDWORKS PDM. So the pros of this is it's now very easy to identify what the part is based on the number and the file name. And because of that, we have error reduction. We know if we're looking at a bill of materials and we're seeing an electrical file, and based on the file name, we can tell if it's correct or not. Now, the other thing you will know, if you are familiar with SOLIDWORKS PDM and the categories, we could then assign those files to a different approval process based on the file name. So if, for example, you had a different approval process for electrical files, then we could have those categorized based on the file name and simply send them through a different approval process. Now, like everything else, you have to think of the cons as well. So with intelligent part numbers, it's no different. There are still some cons, but they are pretty minimal. So first of all, there is going to be some training required for people to understand the naming conventions. So engineering will have to understand them, procurement, manufacturing, assembly, and so on. And then there may be some ongoing maintenance. There may be some new categories that you need to add. You may have to update the lists that you have in PDM with some additional options. But as you can see, on the whole, the intelligent part number system, if it's something that you need to incorporate, is very possible in SOLIDWORKS PDM, and it's actually pretty easy to set up. So let's review what we've seen in this presentation. So the serial number generator, it gives us all files a unique name and a unique serial number, and it's based on the SOLIDWORKS PDM serial number generator. We use the SOLIDWORKS PDM templates in order to generate those files. We do the same when we do the intelligent parts. And with the intelligent parts, there's two ways that we're having to look at this. So new files, when we create a new file in SOLIDWORKS and in SOLIDWORKS PDM, we identify the part or the file with a descriptive naming convention, and that's based on the PDM lists that we set up. And it makes use of the SOLIDWORKS PDM templates for new file creation. And then finally, for legacy files or for vendor, supplier files that come to us, we're linking the data card variables with the file description, and then we're simply using the dispatch to rename the file with that intelligent part number. So what we have now is a standardized way of naming all of our files across our organization. And as you can see, there's a few different options there for you to think about. But on the whole, there's a lot of flexibility with SOLIDWORKS PDM to hopefully deliver a process that will suit your needs. All right, so to review our content today, we have a couple of part numbering options in SOLIDWORKS PDM. As I mentioned at the beginning, hopefully this will give you some food for thought if you're thinking about how you're going to name your files, if you're just about to implement SOLIDWORKS PDM, or if you're looking for a change in your process and you think that it's time that you maybe change the way that you name your files or record file part numbers. So again, I'm Chris Souter with MLC CAD Systems. I want to thank you for taking the time to view this video. If you do have any additional questions, or if you need any additional support, I would be happy to answer any questions based on what you've seen in this video. And you can reach me by simply submitting an email to our support line, solidworksupport@mlc-cad.com. Thank you very much.